Oops, sorry. I was so aggressive. I was like, bam, take it to her.
Okay. Sure enough, within 2 weeks, I had the keys.
What would you do if you won the lottery?
How much am I winning in the lottery?
Making adult friends are so hard.
Yep.
So hard.
I'm telling the planet it's mine.
Yes.
This is what it's gonna look like, and you make it happen.
Internet trolls scare me.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize you drew them.
Like, my Oura ring is screaming at me because my heart rate is super high because I'm stressed.
I don't see the point in scaring myself. Like, why do that?
There's just more of me, whatever. Like, I took it lightly.
How do you want to be remembered?
I love to binge. Love it.
But I think you know that spirit to run with new things as well is important.
Based on a true story, I'm like, pause it. I need to make some popcorn and then I'm coming back.
I think I'm grateful for all of my life experiences that have got me to where I am.
Sorry, Ma, but she's my favorite family member. Like, I love her. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Press Pause with Jana. On today's episode of Burj Banter, I have Reim. Hello.
Hello.
I hope you enjoyed our conversation last week. It was a vibe. So much knowledge was shared. You working in the media space, and welcome to playing Jenga.
I'm so excited because I actually haven't played Jenga in years, and like, you know, to do this question Q&A version is cool. So
I'm excited to see how you feel. So
yeah,
you're the guest.
Okay,
it's your pick first.
So if I've understood correctly, I need to. Okay, these will. Ooh. Is it? Yes. All right. And then I get to read the question.
Yeah, so there's two on there. You can decide which one you'd like us to answer.
Can you recall a moment when you felt completely in tune with your intuition? I think I have the answer to this one.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm always in tune with my intuition because I've spent a lot of time kind of thinking through this. Yeah. I'll try and condense the story, but I basically was going through a phase where I felt like I needed to lose weight, and I joined a gym and I went upstairs. I needed the washroom. I went upstairs and I saw an empty office, and I don't know what made me do this. I've never done this in my life. Okay. It was empty, and I opened the door and I walked in. So someone else's office, and I walked in. Okay. And as I was in that space, I'm like, this is my office. This is my office. And it was this huge space, and I could just start visualizing it all. And long story short, I was so sure. The next day I started telling everybody, I found her. I don't know how we're going to get it. You know, it was way beyond my means at the time. But I'm like, we are celebrating our anniversary in the new office. And sure enough, within 2 weeks I had the keys.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit of there are a lot of stages that happen in between. Yeah. But discovered that the landlord was very interested in media support, and so ended up having about 6-7 meetings with him in a 2-week span to see how we can support them with media, and we made an agreement, and it was our new office. But it was to answer the question, in tune with my intuition. It was like that feeling when I walked in of like, this is our space.
Yeah. I will go with the feeling that I got when I came on your show. So you have DXB Today, which interviews people and different experiences and what it is that they do. So I was invited on, not because I'm a podcaster, but because of being a senior air traffic control officer. And a lot of people don't know, but I'm very honest about the fact that I have a fear of public speaking. So I came in and I was quite nervous because it was my first time on TV and I didn't know what to expect, but I loved the experience. I was like, yes, someone touched up my makeup. Everybody around me was such a vibe as well. Like, mashallah, your team, vibes, good vibes.
Thank you.
And then when we came to go into role, somebody else I was going to go on after somebody else. And I remember while I was watching them, I was like, oh my gosh, they're doing so well. Then imposter syndrome comes in. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to sound as good as them. And then I went on. And then when I looked back at the set, I was like, oh, there's no audience. Like, there's the camera crew and the sound engineers and everybody else in the background. And I think you also came to say hello at one point. And I remember feeling there's less pressure. And then I made that baby wish that I mentioned on the first episode of like, oh, I would love to have something like this one day. And then there were a couple of circumstances that happened to me career-wise. I'm still in aviation, by the way, because, you know, it pays for the podcast and my dog's doghouse. But I made the decision that I want to branch out and not allow aviation to be my sole identity. Because I let that happen for 10 years. And I just made the decision of, who am I as 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿𝐵𝐻? And what can I do to give back to the world in the education? So I had saved up to do my master's degree in air transport management because I wanted to continue to grow in aviation. And then at the same time is when I had my revelation, right? I came on the show in November. I had my revelation December. And then I was like, how do we feel? What can I do with the money that I have saved up? Should I blow it on my education and get yet another degree? And I made the decision, no, I'm going to go on an unconventional path and utilize the funds that I have saved for my traditional education to learn from people doing their own thing and to absorb that knowledge. So I treat it as like a university course where I get to ask questions to people from all walks of life.
Amazing.
And I'm so happy I followed that instinct because it led me to create such great connections. I've even made a new friend, which making adult friends are so hard.
Yep.
So hard. You know, so I was like, oh, this is actually really nice. I'm a big people person and I love seeking knowledge and learning. So one of the outcomes of choosing to follow this instinct and go and do the podcast is I had a guest who came on, and when we were talking behind the scenes and off camera and just having conversations, and this is the girl who became my friend as well, she's like, you are so funny. And she's like, I did a stand-up class, so you need to sign up for the next course. And I was like, no, I'm not sure. I just feel like it doesn't work with my brand. She's like, but you as a human being are so funny. You should do it. So I said, fine. I go to my mom and I'm like, Ma, what do you think if I do stand-up? And she goes, I would do so well in stand-up. Like, she would do so well in stand-up.
That's funny.
And you met her today. Like, she's a sassy lady, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it has nothing to do with you, but okay. I was like, Mom, if I'll find out more about it, but would you like to do it together?
Nice.
And growing up, we did Bollywood dance classes together, like as a bonding experience.
Yeah.
We tried so many new, like I have random talents, like Bollywood dance, jazz, salsa dancing. It was mostly to move my body.
Yeah.
My mom's also big on dance, so you two would bond on that. But then I was like, we haven't done anything together for literally decades. So I said, Mom, if they have slots available, because it was closing. I think the closing was in 2 days or something. I was like, Ma, if they have availability, shall we sign up? And she's like, just see how it goes. I'm not sure, even though I know I'd be great at it. I was like, okay. I sent them an email. They're like, we literally have our last 2 slots. I'm like, take my money. Let's go. So following that instinct has pushed me to enhance my public speaking, make a new friend, and learn so much from different people. And today, the previous episode, tune into that. You inspired me so much.
Thank you.
Like really, really. So I'm happy I followed that.
Amazing.
Because I've learned so much more than I would have if I went to university and studied traditionally.
Well, I'm a big believer in that, which again, I know we discussed, but the value of real life experience versus what you study. So I think that's great. And honestly, it's great that you took that initiative because I know many people who wouldn't have. So congratulations.
It was a very big plunge.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like from the time I realized I liked coming on your show, before that, I just had a lot of insecurities because I'm on a weight loss journey at the moment, and it's not for vanity. It's literally my health was deteriorating. So I was just so conscious of I'm a bigger girl. I had like really bad cystic acne at one point. Like I was just so conscious of what I looked like outside, and internet trolls scare me. Well, they did. Now I don't care. I'm just like, I'm sassy. I'll bite back.
Yeah, but it's also about learning to let things in one ear and out the other, you know, so not allowing yourself to be deterred in any way. So, and I'm a very, very big believer in like ignoring the naysayers, like anyone, I believe in unfollow Friday. So basically, you know, I'll literally go through, and anyone who even gives me that little feeling of like, oh, you know, unfollow. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see it.
Unfollow Friday.
Unfollow Friday.
That used to be
a thing. Yeah, it is. But anyway, I'm gonna put this down.
Perfect.
Right. Dun, dun, dun.
I always go for the middle ones.
Okay.
It gives every engineer I've had on the show gets anxiety. Okay, so I'll let you pick 2 questions. What is the best mistake you ever made and why? And the next one is, what is your wildest dream?
Honestly, I make a lot of mistakes. So I think that but I don't regret any of them because I think, you know, I believe in learning, and I believe that you need to also implement as quickly as possible. So probably, I mean, we can call it a mistake. We'll call it a life lesson. But I launched Dubai On Demand in 2014. And, we discussed that I launched it at a time when YouTube wasn't very prevalent or big in the UAE. And I put a lot of effort, funds, energy into that brand. And, I think my timing was off. But having said that, I don't regret doing it because now we're sitting on something that has a 10-year legacy that has evolved over time. And we're not a new player in terms of, the content space. But it was a very difficult mistake given the timing. So that's one. But I would say not many people know this. I had a second business as well called Bamboutique, which was clothing made out of bamboo.
Oh, nice.
I know nothing about fashion, nothing about clothing. I mean, it's not my universe. But I came across bamboo fabric and I loved the material, and I could see living in a hot country like Dubai, all the benefits. And this was in 2011, before like the whole sustainability wave that's happening now. So another example of where I was ahead of the game.
Yes.
And that also didn't do very well at the time in terms of sales, because a lot of people still didn't understand that, you can make clothes from bamboo, and isn't it harsh, it's soft. And there was a huge education curve that we had to go through. And I would say that's another mistake, because I jumped into an industry that I really knew nothing about, but because I saw the potential and at a time when the market wasn't ready. So I've learned that lesson twice. So here's hoping that I don't make the mistake a third time and just get a better understanding of the product market fit, which I think is really key when you're launching something.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like because now you're a time traveler. That's how I see it. You really are so ahead of the game because of it keeps happening in your life. Yeah. So press pause. We're like, all right, I'm gonna wait, and then boom, I already had this idea. Yeah. Like, but do it like 6 months before. It reaches.
It's all about timing. It's really interesting. I learned about a study that was done in Silicon Valley where they looked at the 100 top most successful companies and the 100 least successful companies. And the one thing they all have in common is timing. So i.e. they are the 100 most successful because they launched at the right time, and they're the 100 least successful because they launched at the wrong time. So timing can literally change the game. So that was a very big lesson for me.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, like, for example, when YouTube was starting to pick up before people realized, and everybody now who saw it then is successful on YouTube, and now the people who are new and coming into it are really struggling to get their views up and everything.
But they're still saying it's going to double by 2027. So it's still the time to get in if you haven't already. So I wouldn't worry about the people who are there. Okay. I would more focus on what can you do to stand out in the space and be consistent in the space more than anything.
Yeah, I understand consistency is very important with that.
What about yours?
Best mistake I ever made and why? So I have 3 dogs now. I only started with one, which is the little one that you met. And he was my first ever rescue, and rescue after I moved out, because growing up we had so many rescues. We had like 15 animals, and
God.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, because so my mom being a vet, so many people dumped their animals on us because they knew they'll be fine with me as a TLC specialist taking care of all the pets, right? So we had 6 cats, rabbits, tortoises, budgies, parrots, dogs. There was a peacock who used to jump the walls of the...
It's like Dr. Dolittle.
Literally Dr. Dolittle, yes. Okay. So many animals growing up, right? And then when I moved out and I moved to Abu Dhabi, because I was raised in Ajman. I moved to Abu Dhabi so I could focus on my air traffic career. And I had no pets then because I lived in a hotel for a year, and I was paying so much for hotel bills that I was like literally living off like Costa coffee because I was the closest thing to me, and studying so much. Then when I moved out and I got my first apartment, it was that's why I live in the middle of nowhere. I've never left because it was so cheap on a student salary. And I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to live. And then I went to visit mom at the farm, and I saw there was a piece of sand, or not a piece of sand, but just this rumbling of sand that was moving. And the closer I got, I saw it's this little brown dog running across the across the farm. And I remember we adopted him from the US and he was the farm dog. Like he acted as if he was like a saluki, you know, like big dog. And he was just running around the farm. And I was like, Mom, I forgot we even had him. Can I see what it's like to have him in my apartment? And he moved in with me ever since. I was 20 when I took him in, but he was already like older and like living the farm life. And I was like, if he misses being in the farm, I'll bring him back. But if he can live in the apartment and he's comfortable enough and I'll always take him for walks, then that's what I'll do. So that is the only dog I wanted to keep. That's it. I was happy with my one little dog. Now, mashallah, he's like 15 years old. He's living his best life. Then I started to have a panic and I was like, oh, he's getting old. If I don't get another pet now and he passes away, I'm never going to get another pet and I'm going to be lonely with no pets. So I got like a little French bulldog. And this was a COVID purchase because I had a panic in COVID. I'm like, I just feel like I need more pets. So I got another pet. And then I had a friend of mine who fell really ill and he was giving away 2 of his dogs. I helped him rehome one. And then the second one was his version of my Chihuahua dog, right? This is his OG baby dog. And I was like, he came to me and he said, Jahena, you're the only one I trust with his dog. Like we studied together and everything. He's like, please just take him. And I said, I don't know. Like I already have 2 dogs, a third bigger dog. I like little dogs because their poops are small, okay? I don't want to pick up human-sized poop from a dog. So I said to him, I said, look, I'm just going to see how I feel, whatever. And then I came home and I was like, you know what? Like, let me help a friend out and do that. And his name is Charlie. He is the best mistake I ever made because it's really overwhelming because I'm allergic to him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So now I am getting allergy tests done to create an allergy vaccine for me so I can breathe around him.
Oh my God.
Best mistake ever. But I am severely itchy all the time. Like this morning, before I had to put my makeup on, I was like, I need to stop being itchy because I wanted to scratch my eyes out.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I can't say I would ever make that specific mistake, but interesting.
Yeah. Like now I've learned to say no to adopting more pets.
Okay.
Because I literally can't breathe.
Just say no.
What will happen when I do get the allergy vaccine and I can breathe better? Who knows?
Okay.
But yeah, I'll show you the doghouse before you leave. It's
sure. So do I pick one? I get to pick one now, right?
Yeah.
Are any more of these? Oh. Right. So, what is the most significant change you made in your life and what prompted it? What is the most significant change you made in your life and what prompted it? I think for me, the most significant change is moving to Dubai, you know, so, you know, I'd grown up in the UK. I was, you know, very different environment, very competitive, very cold, very rainy. And I think, you know, when you literally take yourself out of your environment and change everything around you, that does propel you in a different trajectory. So I think being here, you know, starting with Dubai One, starting on that path, I'm very grateful because I think that opened up the next opportunity and the next opportunity. And I also think that, you know, changing your surrounding, changing the people around you, that all has an impact. And I feel it. I feel it when I go back to London. When I visit London, it feels, without meaning any disrespect, but it feels like everyone's stuck. You know, it's like they haven't necessarily evolved. Whereas, you know, because we happen to live in a place where we're always moving forward, innovation is always at the forefront, you know, new technology is always at the forefront. So I feel being in this environment has also changed me. You know, I was a much safer individual and now I feel like a much bigger risk taker. And I don't know if I would have necessarily personally evolved in that same way if I wasn't in an environment that encouraged it. So yeah, definitely the move to Dubai.
Yeah, and I feel like also being here, people are changing all the time.
Yeah.
It's a melting pot. Is that the right word?
It's a melting pot, yeah.
It's a melting pot. So many new people, so many new nationalities, cultures. And I feel like that also is why people have to evolve, because you have to be able to adapt to literally all sorts of different humans, circumstances, backgrounds, and careers even. Yeah.
What about for you?
For me, it's more health related. So COVID really messed me around with my lungs. And I was somebody who was very fit. So growing up, I did ballet for 14 years, and that discipline of being physically fit stayed with me always. Even though I was always a little bit chubby, I still was very like, I would always make sure I'm working out, getting movement in, focusing on the strength of my legs so I can, you know, jump and stuff. And then when I got into air traffic, I let that go. And I was just so focused on Costa coffee and eating fast food and everything.
It's a very sedentary life, right?
So sedentary. I sit for hours and I'm like, my Oura ring is screaming at me because my heart rate is super high because I'm stressed. But outside it looks chill. And then I'm a comfort eater, so I'd like to comfort eat. So it was a very big change that I made. And then shift work as well. I'm the kind of person who would wake up at early morning, work out, start my day at like 5 a.m. And now I'm finishing work at 6:30 in the morning. So it was a very big shift. So during my air traffic career, I gained like nearly 30 kilos. So much weight. And then it made me heavier and uncomfortable and everything. Then when I graduated and I made that air traffic money, I was like, I can afford a PT now. So I did that. Got my health back in order. Then COVID happened. I got COVID in the first strain of COVID and it really knocked me out. I used to live in a 2-story house. That's why now it's only 1 floor. I would, if I took the stairs to go up, I would need a 2-hour nap after because I'm so exhausted, you know? Then with that, I was forced to become sedentary. So again, I gained all the weight back and more now, 35 kilos. And then I was like, okay, I really need to get my health in order. And when I went to the aeromedical doctor, every 2 years you have to do a check. He said to me, he's like, you got like so much bigger. And I was like, there's just more of me, whatever. Like I took it lightly. And then he's like, no, maybe there's something up with your hormones, whatever. He sent me to an endocrinologist. She tells me, we need to do a gastric bypass. You're too big. I was like, you didn't test anything for you to make such a rash decision. I said, give me something else. We need to meet in the middle and compromise. So they put me on, at the time, 𝐿𝐵𝐼𝐻. Then I built a tolerance to that, Wegovy. Then I built a tolerance to that. Now Mounjaro highest dose. And I said, I'm so tired of injecting myself. Like I literally get bruises on my stomach and it's so uncomfortable. And I hate it. The whole week, I dread my injection day. And I said, khalas, I'm done. I need to find a healthier way to do this. And I told them, I said, do whatever you want with my license. I'm going to a functional medicine doctor and I will lose the weight. Just don't put these chemicals into me anymore. Khalas. And I've done that. And I'm eating the food she's telling me to eat based on my intolerances and everything. And I feel so much better.
Amazing.
I have the energy, alhamdulillah. Like I didn't have energy for years. And now, alhamdulillah, I have the energy. I have the mental clarity. I'm sleeping better, even though I'm still a shift worker. So I just had enough. And I was also working with an intuitive eating coach because I realized I love to binge. Love it.
You're not alone on that one.
So much. And she helped me understand why I like to binge. So apparently I'm an entitled eater. So I'm like, I had a hard day at work. I deserve to eat.
Yeah.
And then I would binge. And I'm like, it's just one day. It won't make a difference. And I would do that for 365 days. So understanding the mental health behind my binging and then understanding the functional medicine aspect together, these two coaches that I worked with, revolutionary, you know? So I'm grateful I was able to take the medications of being on Mounjaro and everything else to lose the 23 kilos I lost. But now I'm doing it in a more natural way and a more sustainable way because I was still eating wrong, just less of it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing because I'm very familiar with the weight gain, weight loss journey because it's been something in my life, like across my life. But for you to share it that openly, so thank you.
Yeah, I feel like it's important because people have seen that I've lost weight and I want them to know, like, I'm not going to pretend that I didn't take a shortcut, but it was a forced shortcut. And then now, like, it really sucks to inject yourself and it's really expensive as well. Like, I know that Mounjaro is more than some people's rent even, you know? So I'm grateful I was able to be in a place to afford it, but also I know it's not accessible to everyone. And really and truly, like, seeking the guidance from my functional medicine coach, her name's Jana, inshallah I'll have her on the show one day. But yeah, it's been revolutionary learning about my body. Yeah. You know?
Well, I think also when you have enough experiences with whatever kinds of medication, you start to understand the importance of learning how to do things sustainably without the medication. So I think, the fact that you're on that path or that side of the journey, I think is great. So here's to the next healthy chapter. So
Yes,
I'm going to put this
exactly.
back.
And I also feel like in my 20s and a lot of people that are younger, you don't realize how important your health is until it deteriorates.
Yeah.
And astaghfirullah, but until you learn that lesson, most people don't learn. So
Yeah.
I never wish bad health on anyone, but I hope that you can proactively be a time traveler and take care of your health before it deteriorates.
Yeah.
Because it matters.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Oh, this was a quick one. Oh, okay. So 2 questions. If you could time travel, where would you go and what would you do? And the second question is, what would you do if you won the lottery?
How much am I winning in the lottery?
That is a great question. I should have added more to that, but let's say an exorbitant amount.
So many things. I think when I win the lottery of life,
Yeah, not or
when honestly, I want to grow my empire. I want to be in a place where you can produce content that you want to produce, how you want to produce it, without any financial restrictions. I think that's a very cool space to be in. But I also want to personally just look after family, friends, relatives, and make sure that everyone's looked after in that way. So I think a lot of my goals are very attainable. It's like I wanna live well. I wanna live in nice places. I want everyone around me to be looked after, and I want to still be creatively in a place where I can produce content that I enjoy, and building that ecosystem for others to do it as well. So I think that's when I think of winning the lottery or being in that position, it's having a life where you're completely financially free and just being able to support entities you want to support, organizations you want to support, and individuals you want to support.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I feel like it would be the same with me in a sense of giving back to those that I love and the organizations and the causes that are close to my heart. But then in terms of the content creation, that's where we differ a little bit. I think it would also kind of align because with the podcast, when I think about big picture of what I would like, right at the moment, I do it out of my house and I love the personal touch that it gives and the comfort of having it in my home. But then I, for example, have to make sure my other two dogs are sent to daycare. It's like a whole process behind that. So one day I would love to have a studio where it's press pause studio and production house.
Nice.
And it's a baby dream that came up recently as well. And it would just be nice to have that space where people can come and we shoot the podcast. And then that's also where we have events that are held, because I do love public speaking, even though it scares me completely. And just have a safe space for people to come and network and get to know each other, because building that network is so important. And that's what I've learned with having the show. Yeah. So just having a really nice, comfortable, safe space and a Zen space. So it would be wellness as well. I love contrast therapy. So ice baths and sauna, cute little cafe. Okay, I'm going to be shooting in the back. If you want to meet and greet me when I'm that big later on, then we can do that. So that's just the baby dream that I have. And if I had the financial means, when I win the lottery, and I have
not just the lottery, because I think the lottery is one of those things where you need to enter to win, right, to begin with. True. So I think it's more when you get to that stage where it's happening. And I think a big part of this is just believing it's happening. Visualize it. I shared the story earlier about that office space. I saw it. I was in it. This is mine. I visualized it. I'm telling the planet it's mine. Yes. This is what it's going to look like. And you make it happen. Yeah. So I don't think your little dream is as little as you think. I think it's much more achievable and will be achieved sooner than you think as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think I need to really sit down with it and do the visualization and the mindful practice behind it, because it's something that I feel it's not for me, it's to actually benefit others and create a safe space for others, and to take a moment to press pause, because the UAE is innovative and fast paced, and I've been burnt out so much because of that pressure. So I just want to create a space like that, and then also just continue with the podcast, because it's something I got into that's the opposite of my career, but I really enjoy it. Learning from you today, feeling inspired from you today has just been so a reminder of yes, Like I love my job in terms of air traffic because and alhamdulillah for Allah giving me the skill set to be able to handle such a job.
Yeah.
But when I'm there, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
This literally invigorates me, and that's how I know it's what I should be doing.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Your turn.
Is it?
Yeah, I keep my block so I don't forget.
Okay. Okay, that's kind of similar to one we've done.
Yeah, we can take another
So,
one.
what is an activity that makes you lose track of time?
Creating art and watching reality television garbage.
Interesting.
Both. But yeah, these are all my drawings.
Wow. Okay, I didn't realize you drew them. That's amazing.
It was I got tired of all the reality TV and COVID.
Yeah.
And I felt I needed to physically let out
Nice.
the entrapment of quarantine. So I just started to draw again.
So my jumper has your drawings on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
even
thank
your
you.
tote bag,
That's so cool.
any of the art in your gift bag is my art. I hand drew it in COVID. You could
Very
even see
cool.
the lines from it's black ballpoint to pen and paper, printer paper. It wasn't even fancy.
Oh, it looks great. Looks
Oh, thank you.
cool.
Yeah.
So for you, it's drawing.
Yes.
Okay. Activity that makes me lose track of time. I binge watch as well. Not reality. I'm not a reality person.
What is your favorite genre to watch?
Favorite genre. I love content. I love everything except horror.
Okay, we align on that. I don't not like.
I don't see the point in scaring myself. Like, why do that? You know.
Yes.
But also because I guess also because it's my industry. So I'm the type of person who, like, whatever genre it is, I feel like you learn from it. So I will watch. But I like true stories, crime, true, or anything that's biographical in nature. I enjoy because I think that the credibility to that story is suddenly much higher because it's like, oh, this actually happened.
Yes.
You know. So yeah, binge watching is still a thing in my life. So yeah.
And even last night, so my mom loves watching horror, and I said, "Ma, I'll compromise. We can watch thrillers, okay? Please." And she's like, "Oh, fine." And then she put on something, and one of the things it mentioned was thriller and also horror in the thing. And I was like, "Ma, this is like so unfair." And then when she was playing it, it said based on a true story. I'm like, "Pause it. I need to make some popcorn, and then I'm coming back."
Yeah, it makes a difference when you know that it actually happened.
Exactly.
You know? So yeah.
So that makes all the difference for me. So I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do when you feel disconnected from yourself? And in what ways do you push your comfort zones to foster personal development?
What do I do when I feel disconnected from myself? I build a lot of practices into my week to help me reconnect to myself.
Okay.
So I have, every Saturday morning is my vision planning time. So I literally, because I really believe in vision boards, and I periodically revise them at least once a year, if not twice a year. But
it's so great.
But it's scheduled in my diary once a week to review my vision board and remind myself, like, what are all the things that I have put out there? What am I practically doing on a day-to-day, weekly basis to move those things forward? Because as much as I believe in having the vision board and manifesting, it doesn't come just because you put it there. The action has to go alongside that. So I think that time helps me reconnect on a weekly basis. I love the sea, so anything water related I think really helps. But I also love the cinema. So if I'm really in a mood and I need to like just, zone out everything else, I will go to the cinema. I'm very militant about phones in the cinema. Anyone holding their phone and I get angry, it's like millions.
Like a little BB gun.
But like millions of pounds or dollars has gone into this movie in front of you. Like, let's just give it the respect, for the 2 hours that you're here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm someone who will happily, I used to go every single week. Like it was a ritual. Like every Friday I was in the cinema. Didn't matter what movie, didn't matter if I was on my own, didn't matter, because it was just like that consistency of like, I need this Zen time and being in this environment. So that still works for me.
We did that growing up, actually. There was, I can't remember the name of the cinema. It was this tiny little cinema in 𝐬𝐿𝐵𝐻. And it would go, Royal Cinema, I think, or something like that. And we would go, you've sparked that like nostalgic memory in me. would go every weekend. So actually, growing up, I was fluent in Hindi because it was all Indian films my mom would make me watch. And I'm just like, Ma, do we have to? And then it turns out I could understand everything being said around me, which is good. So I actually learned a lot from that. But what do I do when I feel disconnected from myself? I'm also a ocean girl. I love the beach so much. Like lately, I'm just obsessed with, I know this is going to sound really bougie, but I found a loophole. I just love going to Maldives. Right?
Okay, it's a good loophole to have.
Okay, I found a nice loophole where it's not break the bank expensive and it's not a honeymoon destination. It's literally a wonderful family-oriented island. And I remember I went there with my closest friend, Sarah. And I was like, I told her, I said, listen, all these romantic places, Yani, there are places where you can just go and chill. I'm like, you deserve to see the sandy beaches of Maldives, of white sand, and snorkel there without finding your life partner yet. So I said to her, I said, listen, I've already been there. I already know we don't do seaplanes. We're going to take a little boat to the island. We take something as close as possible to the island. So we went there and it was really nice. And then now when I got there, the whole 4 days we were there. I need to bring my mom here. She's going to love this. I need to bring my auntie here. She's going to love these orchids. And that's all I spoke about for 4 days. Plus having Maldivian crepes. It's like these coconut crepes. So now I am going through like a little bit of a tough time in my life. So going to the beach is my fix. But having something to look forward to get that fix is also how I reconnect with myself. Because then if I have something to be excited about, then that's what I do. So the next thing that I'm doing is taking my mom and my auntie, who's literally there, I call them my two mothers, to the Maldives, and we're gonna sit and hang out in Earth by the beach.
Nice.
Because my auntie is like super stressed with the line of work she's in. She's the doctor and she's still practicing. My mom, you know, she's super fun loving and extravagant, and she's like the life of the party. I'm like, you should come everywhere. So yeah, I go to the beach to reconnect again. But my very bougie answer, but again, I found it on a budget, I swear to God, is to look forward to going to the beach as well. Because if I can't get there yet, living in the middle of nowhere, then having that to look forward to gets me excited. And then that excitement, I'm a person that thrives on excitement and joy and everything. So just something to look forward to and reconnect.
Okay, cool. Okay. How do you want to be remembered?
Kind, loving, generous, but not taken advantage of. But that's usually what happens. But yeah, I want people don't really remember much about anything other than how you made them feel.
Yeah.
So it's just evoking a feeling of good, and whatever that version of good is to somebody. Unless they're really mean, then no.
I agree.
Yeah.
Probably similar, but I would want to say remembered for pushing you out of your comfort zone, or making you actually do the thing or achieve the thing that you've been speaking about and wanting to for years. Because I've seen, like, when you're part of someone else's transformation, like that's a very special place to be. So I think that's probably what I resonate with.
Yeah, I understand that. And I do feel like you live by what you speak about. So it's not like you push people out of their comfort zone, but you're chilling, you know?
I'm daily pushing myself out of my comfort zone.
You really are. So yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
Put that. Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I think you would love this question. Name 3 things that you are most grateful for right now. And the second one, if you want an option, how do you handle periods of uncertainty and ambiguity in your life?
Gratitude is very, very big in my life. I have a gratitude journal every day. I have a gratitude chat with my team, because I think it's important that we all, you know, and anything, it could be the smallest thing that you show gratitude for. But if I was going to pick 3 things that I'm grateful for right now, I think I'm grateful for all of my life experiences that have got me to where I am. And I think that may sound like a cop-out, but I think that we're only where we are today because of what we've experienced in the past. So whether positive or negative or whatever that may be, it's got me here. So I'm grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for my parents. We're very different personalities. We don't always see eye to eye, but again, that's why I am who I am, you know. I've had a lot of time to kind of think through my personality and why do I behave in this way, or why do I, and a lot of it comes down to a reaction, you know, to childhood, or, you know, which it does with everybody. But I think, again, it's like, because of my parents, I am who I am. And I am very grateful to my team, because a lot of my life is about work and is about career and about the next opportunity. And I think I have such an outstanding team from a perspective of following me down this journey, but also being part of the journey, because I do my best to include them. I do my best to, you know, when we do company vision boards, because it's important that we all have the same vision.
I love that.
But it's so key. But also before we do that, I ask them to do their own vision boards, because I want to know, it's self-serving as well, because I want to make sure if what they want to do is aligned with what the company wants to do, then we're all trying to make something work together. So everyone who comes across my team will often say very complimentary things. And I think that's an extension of who I am and what the company is. And therefore, I'm really grateful for them for, you know, ensuring that our touch points with our customers and with people we work with have the same energy and positivity. So that's a key one for me.
Yeah, and I can actually vouch for that, because when I did come on the show as a guest, I was like, I feel so special.
That's amazing.
Of how your team treated me, not because I was asked to come, but literally, like, from the moment I got the call to showing up, and even when I was done, even the message you sent me after, you're like, oh, thank you so much for coming on. I'm like, that's so nice. Oh, like, I loved it. Like, all these little touches that you have built and created, and you can tell that there is a lot of love, care, and thought and intention behind what you're doing. And
Thank you.
The first time I ever realized that being a good leader comes from treating those that work with, they don't work for you, they work with you. Was this case study I had in school with Richard Branson of just like what a vibe he was. Can't remember the details of it because it's been like literally decades, but that's the first time I remember it, and that's what keeps coming to mind now, of just making sure your team is happy, because then your business will thrive that way. Yeah.
But also, to be honest, because I learn so much, I'm the type of person who will come in the morning and go, I've had a new idea. This is what we're gonna do, you know. So I think it's having people who are willing to jump on that, you know, and they know, like, they're like, oh no, she's come, what new idea is she gonna have today? But I think you know, that spirit to run with new things as well is important.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like because they know how you are, and they know it's a safe space to do that as well, you know, and that's the most important thing. For me to name 3 things I'm grateful for right now, it is actually literally this moment. We shot, you all would have watched the episode last week, but we shoot everything in one go. And I feel like with everything going on in my life right now, meeting you and having this conversation with you was truly a reminder of also like the little essence of me. Like, I saw a lot of like the ambition that you have, and the vision, the way that you strive for things is a part of myself I almost forgot about. People do see me and they're like, oh, you're wildly ambitious. I'm like, yes, but the focus was shifted for a while. And I feel like having this talk with you today and this conversation has really helped me feel like, oh, wait, like you've inspired me to look within again into myself. So I'm literally, after we're done with this, I'm going to go on my calendar and set, because I love calendars and color coding, but I would literally go and be like setting up something for the vision of myself, the podcast, my career, and to just do that, like, because I feel like this conversation has really helped me refocus, or be able to refocus. And truly, I genuinely feel inspired. And also the podcast giving me a space to have this conversation with you, and not only me have this conversation with you, but whoever else who gets to tune in and watch this gets to learn from you and experience. I don't think they're going to feel like the goosebumps I experienced on the show, but if they did, I'm just happy that I was not selfish in keeping this to myself, but sharing it with everyone. So it would be the moment, the podcast, and also my grandma. She's visiting right now, and I just love her so. She is, sorry, Ma, but she's my favorite family member. Like, I love her. So she brings out like this whole other side to me, and I love that softness it brings out in me and that care. So Yes, those are my three in this very moment. Yes, and it shifts. In an hour, we'll see what it is. But
well, thank you for including me in your moments. I really am grateful, and I'm so glad to hear that. So thank you.
Yeah, really. Like, I feel there was a very big part of myself that I kind of lost touch on for a few years, and then meeting you has again, you gave me that people who can't see, but you gave me that feeling again. Like when I came on your set, I was like, okay, so we'll see where the podcast goes, inshallah. But it's just, it's not just the podcast, but just me as a person, just to refocus.
Amazing.
And
thank you.
Be a little more selfish with myself.
It's important.
It is. Everyone keeps telling me that.
Yeah.
Let's play speed Jenga, or Jenga the way it's designed, until it topples over.
Sure.
Okay.
So we're just pulling. Okay. We're just. Oh.
Right, to beat it.
Oh. 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 Oh.
Good.
It's a,
Is it meant to be speedy? Is that the point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because also you have a call in a few minutes.
That is also true.
And it just speeds up. But yeah, it came from a previous guest called 𝐿𝐫𝐫𝐿𝐫. She's amazing. She's like, shall we just play speed Jenga till it falls over? And I was like, cool. I like it. We kept it as a tradition on the show.
Oh.
Okay. I didn't actually think I would pull that off. For somebody who hasn't played Jenga in a while, you're doing really well.
It's fascinating.
It's that pressure, you know?
It is, isn't it? It's like, oh. Okay.
Oops, sorry. I was so aggressive. I was like, bam, take it to her.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So thank you so much for everybody tuning in. I lost the game. Press Pause family, thank you so much for tuning in. Reem, I really loved getting to know you today. Truly, you've inspired me. You've sparked something inside me.
Thank you.
Really and truly. And Press Pause family, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and let us know what you think below. Thank you.